Just here to get straight to the point. My wife and I have been married since we were 25. We are 38 now. We met in college, got married, and everything has been great. We both graduated, got good jobs, and started our lives together. Me and my wife both made good money, so money was never an issue for us. My wife worked for her dad's small business while I worked for a very large company. After a few years, my boss left the company out of nowhere, and they needed someone to take over. The only person who knew how to run the department was me. So, I got a major pay jump, better bonus, better benefits, the works. So, at 28, I was making probably 3x plus more than my wife. At 28, the same year, my wife gave birth to our first daughter. Then, 2 years later, our second. My wife, due to working for her father, was able to be more diverse in working. Well, around 5 years ago, my father-in-law passed away unexpectedly. That left my mother-in-law and wife in a hard position. Sell the company or run it themselves. My mother-in-law had no clue how to run it, so my wife said she would do it. After my wife took the company, it did just as well as when her father ran it. With that being said, my wife got a huge pay increase, more than me. I was proud of her. Going from a basic worker to running a whole company isn't easy. Anyway, our daughters started suffering from not seeing their parents. Me and my wife discussed one of us staying home. She said, "The company you work for will be fine without you. Mine could go under." I agreed. So I quit my job and became a stay-at-home dad or husband. I do everything. I make sure the girls are all taken care of. I cook, clean, fix things, make sure errands are run. You name it. I pamper my wife when she gets home from working. This went well for a while until about a year ago. My wife was always very appreciative of what I did and loved it. She has become very mean lately, like just saying things like, "Do you do anything?" or "How about you work for real?" What? I work my ass every day making sure you don't have to lift a finger when you get home at all. Also, I had a real job, but I quit to raise and take care of the girls, our home, and you. Not to mention my wife is very sexual. Always has been. She quit initiating sex, and when I ask, she is never in the mood. That was very odd. Eventually, I quit trying. I just thought, with all the pandemic crap and everything else, she was just very stressed, and it was getting to her. I started trying harder to make her happy. Nothing ever worked. Last weekend, my oldest had a softball game, so I get everything ready and we go. During the game, I wanted to take a video for my mom and dad since they live in another state and don't get to see my daughters that often. I forgot my phone, so I asked my wife if I could see hers. She had been attached to it all day, so it would be good for her to get off it. Anyway, she hands it to me and says she is going to get a drink and a snack. She gets up. I video my daughter. When a message comes up on some app, I check and I can't even fathom what I see. My wife and this guy from her work, who is 8 years younger, are sexting and sending videos and pics, talking about how great the sex was. And then me. He is saying how I am some wimp who can't get a real job taking care of his women. And my wife agrees with him. I couldn't believe this shit I saw. I was so devastated and angry all at the same time. I heard my wife coming back, so I closed the app and started videoing. On the ride home and when we get home, my wife tries to talk to me, and I am not in the mood. Eventually, we lay in bed, and, for the first time, I guess they hadn't met in a while, tried to have sex. I tell her I am not in a mood. She says, "If you're going to be a bitch about everything, you can sleep on the couch." I got up and went to the couch, and now have been here since. I don't know how to move forward with this. I really just don't know where to start. My wife was my everything. My girls are my world. And all of that is dying. Any advice would be wonderful as I really fucking need it. Update 1. Hey everyone. I want to thank you all for the advice you all gave. First off, I do have the text, pics, videos, and everything. Second, I don't any of the company. It is 50/50 between her and my mother-in-law. Third, I can't sleep in the bed. I have been sleeping the guest bedroom every night, and that is where I will be staying. To answer, I have decided to divorce her. Anyway, this morning, called a firm in another town to avoid anyone finding out. Thankfully, they were able to get me in this morning as someone had canceled. After dropping off my girls, I drove over there. To make a long story short, he is a very good lawyer. I showed him what I had. He said that luckily for me, with the evidence I have, she will be pretty much screwed in the divorce. Seeing as I quit my job to raise our girls, she is never home, she is having an affair, prioritizes this man over me and my girls, she will lose very easily. He basically said we will get child support, alimony, I will keep the house, and we will have to pay for it as long as my girls live there. Also, he stated that we could even try for more money since I am considered no longer viable in the working world to help me pay for more education to get a job. Some of you were right. He said to not work until after the divorce is over. He said since you are the husband, if you have a job, you can lose a lot of this. He asked if I wanted full custody. I said that I don't mind my wife seeing her girls on the weekends every once in a while, but I would want mostly full custody. He said since she had an affair in the marital home, and basically do what I want. Since he stated bringing over a strange man over to the house put the girls in danger and makes her guilty. So, I will be going for full custody where she can get weekends once maybe twice a month. No man will be allowed around my girls, and if there are, she could face problems by me if I find out. I just don't want that pos around my girls. He eventually said to keep quiet until the draft are ready, and then he will issue someone to serve her and have it issued that she is required to leave the home. He said he should have it done sometime next week. He asked me to just keep quiet. He said, I know it is hard and you are upset, but just shut the hell up until everything is done. Once the divorce is over, you can say whatever the hell you want about her, but until then, keep your mouth shut. He said, act as normal. He said, no fights, no issues, sleep in separate bed, and no sex. I said, no problem. But why? He said, trust me, just don't do it and do as I say. I just got home and have started getting ready for dinner and acting and being normal. I will be acting as if everything is okay until she is served next week, as I can only make 2 updates. Yes, I actually read the rules. On here, any more will be on my page if anyone cares. Thank you all for the advice and some very harsh words. And to the one guy who asked for my wife's nudes. Just know, it seems all you have to do is ask her and she will send them, so it isn't that hard it appears. Update 2. Hey everyone, I just want to thank you to all who sent me good messages over this period. I have been feeling down and things have been rough. To preface, I have talked to my lawyer about these posts. I didn't go into too much detail. They did tell me though, as long as I keep them brief and not super specific, that I can post. But I just have to be careful about what I put on to not lead to many details. That is, that. So, for quick update, like I said, will be brief and not too specific for legal reasons. We will start with the test. I was able to get an STD on myself and a paternity test on my girls. I came out that I thankfully have no disease and I am clear. Since I have been pretty much sexless from her for the last year, I wasn't all that surprised. Now, for the one that I am sure most of you are wondering, the test on my 2 girls. Am I the dad? I will always be their dad regardless of the results. However, I'm here to say that, yes, I am their biological father. I have never been so happy to know that I am their dad. Never thought I would have to question it, but here we are. As for what has happened with by Stevie X, well, she is out of the house, and I have been granted full temporary custody. In the future, maybe a while, I will go into more specific details. However, for now she is out of the house. My lawyer set everything up for me to get my girls and make sure that we legally handled her being removed from the home. It wasn't pretty, but details for another time. She was served at work, and from what I know, it wasn't pretty. Like I said though, details for another time. My girls know what is going on. My oldest knows we are separating, and one of her friend's parents split for the same reason. She has seen what happened with her friend, and doesn't want us to split. She has been crying for me to let mommy come home. I will be getting them in with the child therapist to explain and help them understand from direction of my lawyer. My youngest just wants mommy to come home and misses her. It kills me and makes me feel like a terrible father, and they probably hate me now. Sometimes I think I should just let their mother cheat on me to keep the family unit to make my girls happy. I just can't do that. Sometimes I think about talking about allowing an open relationship, and we can just wait till the girls are older, but that won't work for me. Plus, I know the girls will pick up on it and will not like it that mommy and daddy don't love each other. As for my ex, she is living with her mother at this point. My mother-in-law has called me and asked to meet. I agreed, and we will meeting at some point. She didn't ask for details, as she said we will talk later, but begged me not to take her granddaughters away from her. I said you are a great and loving grandmother, and as long as you can separate my girls from what is going on between your daughter and I see no issue with you being able to see them. And I will not take them out of your life. She thanked me, and that is it. My ex has been trying to call me and text me trying to figure out us. Under direction of my lawyer, he has had it set up so that I can talk to her through a trackable method, and it is purely about the girls. No more, no less. So, that is it for now. We'll probably keep updating, and once this is all over with, I will make one big update for all the details I have to be careful about as of now. Thank you. Update 3. Hey everyone. Though I would give everyone a small update on some stuff that has happened. So first off, I had Thanksgiving with my Stevie X and Mill. I did this purely for the girls and made sure with my lawyer this was only about the girls and not about reconciliation. That was taken care of. First I have met with my Mill pre-Thanksgiving. We met and had a pretty mutual discussion, mainly just things about how we will handle my daughters after. My Mill did tell me some stuff about my Stevie X. I guess my Stevie X was cheated on by her H's BF. Didn't even know she dated anyone. I guess this guy came from one of those families, according to my Mill, and they told her to avoid him. Well, one night, she caught him with his head under another girl's dress and tongue deep in a girl's jewelry box. Why my Mill couldn't believe she would do this. She had a couple BF they met in college, but she knew they wouldn't last. She said that as soon as she met me, she found her son-in-law. Says she is so sorry for her daughter's actions, and will make sure that she doesn't try to do anything problematic with the divorce. Anyway, a couple days before Thanksgiving, my Mill asked for me to come over for dinner with the girls. I said, will she be there? She said yes. I said I can't with her there. She said she understands but asked if we could put on the holiday one more time for the girls. She said I know you have a lawyer. Ask them, and if they said it is a bad idea I get it. I did, and they said tell your wife via the app this is purely for the girls to avoid any confusion. So, I did. She had contacted me before about coming over. She has been begging me to see me and the girls. The girls have been begging me to see their mom. I swallowed my pride for my girls and we went. It was awkward. My Stevie X gave our daughters a hug, fine, then tried to hug and kiss me. I just avoided her and went to give my Mill a hug. My Stevie X tried to act like husband and wife, and was trying to talk to me. I answered with yes and no's, and helped my Mill finish dinner and clean up. My Mill is religious, and wanted to do a prayer, and my Stevie X sat next to me. I held my daughter's hand, my wife tried to grab mine, I pulled away. I know it may seem petty, but I don't want her touching me. I am an atheist, but out of respect for my Mill I go along with it. Dinner was fine. Again, Stevie X trying to act like we are going to be married, and asking about Christmas and vacations. I guess she wants to take with us as a family. When she mentioned the stuff I knew going over was a mistake. We finished dinner, and I pretty much got up, cleaned my daughters and I dishes, then was ready to go. My daughters wanted to watch a movie with their mother. We always watch. I let them, and my Stevie X tried to cuddle next to me on the couch. I sat in the chair. After that, my Mill was very mad at my Stevie X the whole night for how she acted. I could tell by the looks she gave her. Movie ended and we started to leave. My daughters fell asleep, so I carried them to the car, went and grabbed something, and my Stevie X grabbed me in tears, begging to work on things and that she wants to be a family and is so sorry for what happened. Before I could say anything, my Mill grabbed her by the hair, not joking, yanked her, told me good night and began yelling at her daughter. So, yeah, told my lawyer everything and said nothing indicated reconciliation. And you made that clear in your messages. You are fine. Wife once again calling and begging now to work on us. She gets left on read. I will only talk about the girls, and I am sure they are going to want to do the same for Christmas. I don't know if I can or if it is okay. Once again, I will discuss with my lawyer. Update 4. This will not be long, but things have gotten very bad for my girls. Basically, my girls had 2 sessions this week with their therapist. The first one was good. My girls came out what seemed to be more at peace and calmer than usual. I talked to the therapist after, and she seemed to be very good and understand my girls well. So, up them to their second one and shit is completely fucked. Basically, the therapist explained, in age-appropriate terms, that the reason me and their mother is separating that their mother cheated, had an affair, and betrayed me. I knew eventually she would, but I didn't think it would happen this soon. I went to get my girls, and basically it was a burst of tears, and them climbing all over me, and giving me hugs crying saying they love me. I am happy they love me, but this is not what I wanted to happen with my girls. I asked the therapist why did she tell them. She said the girls knew you two were separating, and the girls noticed you seemed to be really mean and unloving with their mother. Your girls aren't stupid, she told me. They know how you are, and they know how you treat their mom. They wanted to know why you were separating. I tried to walk around it the best I could, she said. But the girls are not going to progress in therapy if we don't tell them. I am not going to go into detail on what exactly she said to them, but it was age appropriate. But they know the age appropriate version of their mother being unfaithful. I think my oldest could maybe handle this and be okay, but not my youngest. So, we get home and my girls won't let go of me. They are literally crying the whole night, so I order in food. I put in their favorite movies in my bedroom, and we laid there all night. They fell asleep, and I went to the bathroom and just cried. My STBX doesn't even realize the pain she is causing our girls. I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. The therapist told me we could try medication for a bit till they get used to the new normal. I refused to do so, which she supported and said it was just an option, as I am not drugging them. Disclaimer, she cannot give the drugs. She said they would need to see their primary and they would probably diagnose my girls with something that would allow them to medicate them. I would rather deal with my daughter's emotions the healthy way. I won't have to worry about Christmas as my daughters hate their mother now. How I know? My oldest said she never want to see her mom again. My youngest follows what her older sister says, even though she may actually agree. I was shocked. I said, "You don't hate her. You may be mad, but you don't hate her. She loves and cares about you." My oldest just said no she doesn't, and then just cried into my arms until she fell asleep, and so did my youngest. So. This is my life now.